and you can hear everything I say, and they can pick you up what you say on the phone. So I'll put it on extra high volume here, and I'm
Okay.
going to put a little speech out first about what I know and lived through in my life about immigration.
Well,
Uh,
if he, because right now I have a birthday. Today is my birthday, and I have people over here.
oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah, if you had like, you need my opinion or my input on anything for 5 minutes, I'm willing to give that. But I
Okay.
can't go. Yeah.
Uh,
But
it's going to be a short video. I got to speak about 4 or 5 minutes first, and then um, we can discuss immigration for a couple of minutes, and that'll be it.
okay.
I'm
So
live right now. Introduce yourself on the phone. I have somebody on the phone that's going to be speaking with me on this immigration. I'm live streaming on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Um,
yes, sir. This is Eugene Boyka.
yes. To go back to the beginning, talking about immigration, I'll, the people that came over here on ships set up communes. They thought they had somebody in every profession to set up the commune, and everybody would share what they produced each other so everybody could survive when they got here. Within 10 to 15 years, they found out that half the people didn't want to work, while the other half was providing for them. So they quit the damn communes and went out on their own. And then, somewhere around the Civil War or before the Civil War, we set up an island in New York called Pears Island. Everybody that came here had to be there for at least 30 days. Any sick people, they were put back on boats. Any people that were found to be criminals from their country were sent back to their countries instead of let go in America. And then we come up to the newer future. Clinton deported millions of people, and he did the right thing on health care. Welfare. He passed a law on his first 2 years that you couldn't get welfare for more than 2 years at a time or 5 years in your lifetime. And you had to work while getting it. But of course, the courts and the Republicans overturned that. And then Obama, he passed the strictest immigration law ever. If you got caught with an employee that was undocumented, it was a $10,000 fine. I know all my fellow businesses around here started e-verifying all their employees real quick, and just about 3 out of 4 Hispanics working for them, they found the paperwork was illegal. Even though they were sending in money, why didn't Social Security say something? They'd worked 10 or 15 years with these illegal papers, and Social Security never notified the business that there was no such person with this security number. And now Trump and Obama deported millions of illegals too and call them illegals. Now we go to Trump. He's trying to get the worst of the worst out of here first. And every time he turns around, he's blocked. Now, what does the Constitution say and the Bill of Rights say for our existence here in the USA? Does it say you can walk across the border and you're up? They can't. They have to abide by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. They just can't tell you to go back across the border. All of a sudden, you're just the same as an American citizen with all of these rights. You can come here and dump a baby and say, "Okay, my baby's an American citizen, so I'm qualified to stay." What do you think about what I've just said, Eugene?
Well, everything that you just said is common sense, and not just common sense, right? But is part of our history in America, right?
Yes. What do you think of?
Unfortunately, but fortunately, for as I think my generation, this is our turn to take on a challenge. For me, I'm a hardcore Republican. I've said that. I'm a new Republican, bringing in a new wave of people that understand our Constitution is one of the greatest documents that ever faced this land, especially for a straight black man like me, in the simplest term. Why? This country is, yes, it's an open border, right?
Yes.
But it's an open, secure border. Meaning, when I say an open border, meaning that if you come in here the right way, meaningful way, and you want to be a part of this country, this one nation.
Yes, but according to statistics, over 50% of the people that come here legally are straight on welfare and food stamps and Section 8 housing. And my wife had a complaint back in 2008. She worked for a uniform supply place with some Pakistanis. She was getting $400 from early Social Security. And a lady there said they brought their parents over here from Pakistan, and they got $1,200 from Social Security each. Isn't that ridiculous? Work 40 years here and get 400, and come here as parents of somebody and get 1,200 each.
Well, there's been a flaws. Unfortunately, it's a flaws in our great Constitution and our great republic. You know, they like to describe it as a democracy, but it's a republic, right? And the flaws is the original people, whether you love or hate this country or not, those that are invested in this country are the ones that were supposed to have a say-so in the country. When you start giving out free, you cannot be free. I'm sorry, babe. Go ahead, I'm coming.
Yes, but even our court can't read the Constitution. One of our first rulings from the Supreme Court read the Constitution, we the white people, by white people, for white people, so you can't count blacks as people. They can't, the Constitution, I'm a constitutionalist and a secondary a Republican. I run as a Republican for office, Congress all the time, just to get my voice out to try to wake up people to stand up for what's right in America. Our own Supreme Court, half the time, can't read the Constitution since the very beginning of our country, where they couldn't read it, that it said all people were created equal. Instead of only white people, they put white people everywhere they could when they read it. And that's why in the beginning we had to make the 14th Amendment to say black people were Americans too.
Every generation has its challenges. When I hear people talking about, living in this time and trying to judge people from the past, because of the decisions that the people made in the past got us where we're at. Right now, my challenge is different from anything that whether slaves, whether property owners, whether anything have ever faced before. So I lived in the gift, which is the present right now. And everybody is trying to redefine the Constitution, what it stands for, what it didn't stand for, interpreting it in their own way that's going to push their agenda. Right now, we see that clearly with the Democratic Party.
Oh, yes.
They switched their game plan of still having this Marxist ideology in which they want to tear down the government, breaks everything down, but they really don't have any type of plan. Their plan can, if you really look at their ideology, their plan still comes down to dictatorship. This is what we're seeing right now. We had a fair election. Not a fair election, but we had an election, right?
Yes.
You could say they cheated us, or they cheated us, because I was one of those candidates in the 2020 election, and then when Trump ran for office, you could say they cheated, but this is the whole thing. We gave up the power. They won. We went and we learned election integrity because we knew they was cheating by the ways that they constantly put in these laws and trying to read these laws for their benefit.
Well, basically, we were under martial law.
Yeah, we switch our game plan, and we end up overwhelmingly beating their asses.
Yeah, we're basically under martial law, and a lot of Republicans went along with it because we had to protect people from the virus.
Well, no, this is why we cleaning out those, we call them rhinos.
Yes.
Because small government is what I live in. Small government, as I look at your big government, like places like Maryland, it's a shit show for us. We don't have those type of problems because majority of us are fighting not to compromise on our morals and our food. Yes, baby.
Well, how would you bring people back on the immigration? Should we kick out all the illegals and all the people that come here legally that just wants welfare? Should we kick them all out again and only let people that come here that can, help us as a country and work their way through the country?
Well, this is why it's important for you to have local elections. And the federal, the presidential and everything else is fine too. But when you keep on compromising on your morals, your value, and you don't even know what your party stands for, then you either got to get rid of the people and stuff or accept whatever you got.
Well, a lot of places like California, they've legalized illegals to vote in local elections. So how?
Well, and look at California. Look at California. What's going on? Every last one of these places. Look at Detroit. Look at Chicago. Look at New York City. Most people don't travel, but it's about final results. And if you look at all these states of what's going on in there, it's that final results. But they're going to keep on moving the goalpost and keep on spreading like virus. If we don't have, I'm a hardcore Republican, and I'm not asking for the old school Republican permission anymore of what needs to be done. Because you know what? Today is my birthday, and I'm celebrating with the future of America. There's black kids here, there's white kids here to celebrate their uncle's birthday. And you know what we're doing as adults?
Yes.
The new leaders, the new wave. We're not asking the old heads to compromise on our morals. We are setting the value for our kids as they play.
Well, today we're getting along a lot better. My wife was Vietnamese, and I had some problems walking around with a Vietnamese girl arm in arm in 69 and 70. But she died in 17 due to Agent Orange cancer from Vietnam. She was Vietnamese. But we're spending billions of dollars a day on supporting legal and illegal aliens in our country that we cannot afford.
Yeah, we can't afford it, but this is the point that I'm making, because we have weak Americans nowadays. We don't have Americans as I was growing up in the 80s. And those before us have let us down. I'm not going to let my generation down. I'm not a Republican by the GOP from anywhere. I am a Republican because I am that Republican by example, which I will build our future, black, white, my generation, to have pride in the American flag, not the gay flag. Republicans sold us out for the same type of talking point that made the liberal run from their environment in which they created. And if they keep on compromising, it's a virus that keeps on spreading, and that spread to our kids. So I'm not going to, I have to go to my little birthday party and stuff, but I'm saying this. Let me say this to close out and stuff.
Well, I want to say one more thing. I want your name.
Huh?
I want your name given again, and you're a great host on Facebook.
We'll talk about this on a later day and stuff, but it's the new wave of the Republican. My birthday cake is coming up, so my wife.
Well, happy birthday again. I sent you a birthday wish, and thank you ever so much for being on.
All right.
Thank you very much for being on, and thank you very much for your videos almost every night. They're very entertaining and very informative. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye. That was a great person. I watch his videos a lot. They're a little bit long. I usually only watch 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then go back to my TV show. But he's very informative, very conservative, very Republican, and he's for the new Republican Party, not the old one. And he had some stuff to say about immigration too. So please watch this and pass it on to everybody you know. And remember, His name is Eugene. I forget his last name right now. I have trouble pronouncing names, but he's a great leader for the future Americans. So, good night, goodbye, and I'm doing this both on YouTube, my page Ray Bly, or both Ray Bly, and also on Facebook. So, thank you very much.